how much easier it must have been back in the day, you know, when people lived in a nomadic sort of life to find God, you know, to be spiritual. And it's so much harder now, and it seems like the trend is just ever more toward being indoors and digital and everything. I mean, do you see any hope for reversing that, other than sort of fleeting adventures that we do?
I do. I see tons of hope for it. I mean, one of the, you know, thousands of years ago, when Jews and Christians wanted to pray, they didn't build churches, they didn't build temples. They climbed to high places because we tend to think, we teach that God is everywhere. You know, God is everywhere all the time, or God is wherever you let God in. That's not what the ancients believed. Like the people that wrote the Bible, they believed that God dwelt in heaven, and God came down to earth at certain places at certain times. And the places that they thought were most connected to God were mountains, because they were close to God, and rivers, because water flows from heavens down to the realm of man, and trees, because trees have these beautiful trunks going up towards heaven. And so we actually started out worshiping on mountaintops. And then we were, the leaders of the day were really scared that we were going to adopt the religious practice of our pagan neighbors. And so to control us, because I should actually explain that a little better. So here's the deal. It's like I'm up here, I'm a Jewish person, and I am using the mountain as a springboard, you know, spiritual springboard to pray to my God. And my pagan neighbor is over here, and he's actually praying to the mountain as a god. And there were more of them, you know, than my group. And so what the priests were scared of is that, hey, man, those guys are having fun, and I'd come over here and I'd assimilate, right? So it was a control grab. You know, they wanted to control us. So they and I talk about this a lot in the book about how they backwrote something into the Bible, and anyway, but they herded us all, they built the big temple, and they herded us all inside where they could keep an eye on us. So, politics, you know, even back then. But, you know, when I was in rabbinical school, I went to rabbinical school, I think in '93 was my first year, and I was this anomaly. Like, people, you know, I'm like riding my mountain bike all over what's now, you know, like the West Bank, all these areas you could never go into now in Israel. I'm all my mountain bike all over the place, and people are like, who are you, and why are you at rabbinical school? You know, like, no one got it at all. And all through rabbinical school, it was like that. And now I've been a rabbi for almost 11 years now, and now there's environmental stuff sprouting up all over the place. You know, now I have 2 rabbis that work for me, and I can't tell you how many student rabbis call me up all the time saying, you know, can I have a job? Can I work for you? So a lot of the churches too have really amazing environmental work going on, just great work. And so, I mean, really, like 15 years ago, I was just this total anomaly. They did not know what to do with me. And now, you know, I go and I speak all over the place, and people are excited about it, and it's not so strange anymore. So I think that's the first step. I think there's lots of hope.